I'm going to add this one to views from an old Polish perspective. Maybe it's just me, but aren't those Maui fires raising more questions than answers that are being explained? I mean, anytime we got Joe Biden playing dumb, we know something's up. Anytime we have the left news calling something a conspiracy theory, even before any of the theories started hitting the internet, we got questions to ask. So right now we got a lot of questions to ask, so let's get right into it and start making a list of what needs to be answered. Where do we start putting together or piecing together this story out of the fires in Maui? Well, obviously, as far back as we can go, at the very beginning. I think a good place to start is the stories of the Chinese scanning the islands in Hawaii with their green lasers under satellites. So we're going to play a little segment of this video here.
Now to a very unusual sight captured on camera. Japanese and local astronomers say a Chinese satellite was recently seen beaming down green lasers over the islands. This video captured atop the Subaru telescope on Mauna Kea, operated by the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan. Bryce Moore has the story.
The lasers flash for just a couple seconds. Initially thought to be from a NASA altimeter satellite, the Japanese put out a correction note on Monday saying NASA scientists found a most likely candidate as the ACDL instrument by the Chinese Daki-1 AEMS.
Okay, that's about as much as I want to play out of that. You get the general background. For some reason, the Chinese were involved scanning islands in Hawaii. Was it Maui? It doesn't really get into that detail, but let's take a look at this. It got 1.6 million views 6 months ago. So what does that have to do with the Maui fires today? Well, we're going to take a look at a couple of other facts that have come out over the past week and try to piece this whole thing together. To look at all the things that don't add up on the Maui fire, we gotta take a look at a couple of things. Actually, I don't know if you're really going to trust BitChute, but they do have an interesting video that kind of puts all of the facts together. So if I was you, I'd search this one out. You got enough keywords that you can put it in a search engine and come up with this BitChute.com video. But let's just play a little segment here that raises some interesting questions.
What's also interesting about the governor was he passed this executive order just before this in July, which could take away the land from the people based on if they need to rezone. There's also a lady who has mentioned how the Red Cross has had hundreds of millions of donations from all these celebrities, but they don't have any security and they're having to move the people out who have lost everything. So then we look at this lady's work and we can see that this looks like a land grab. If all of these politicians and celebrities really cared, why aren't they talking about this legislation? This legislation was something that was proposed on January 5th of 2023 of 51 acres in the same area of the fire would be turned into a housing project.
So we can kind of see there's other videos of people talking about they were had offers to sell their land before the fire, and interesting enough, people that were getting offers to sell their land immediately after the fire. So we're basically starting to piece this together. This segment really caught my attention. Saw it on social media. Great way to spread the news, bring up questions. The thing about it is, take a look at it from old Polish perspective. If the facts don't add up, obviously we're going to start asking questions. I mean, why not? But be prepared. They're going to start passing legislation that makes it illegal to question the Maui fires, just like they've been passing legislation in cities and blue states. It's against the law to question the election. Anyway, let's take a look at what this guy has to say, and I'm assuming this guy is a Maui resident, and he's out there voicing his opinion. And realistically, where do we go to get the best information? From the people on the streets. So let's listen in.
So try to keep up. Several wildfires have broken out on the island of Maui, creating mass devastation and destruction, most notably the town of Lahaina. This is not the people's fault, and our hearts go out to those affected. Why is Lahaina significant? It was once the capital of the Kingdom of Hawaii, prior to the forced U.S. annexation and the eventual move to Honolulu. Lahaina is filled with native property and business owners that have dug their heels in and have refused to sell their properties to conglomerates such as BlackRock, Vanguard, and Oprah. Unglobalized prime oceanfront property still owned and managed by the natives. So what caused this destruction? Short answer, no one knows. All government agencies, local and federal, have vehemently stated that it is unknown. However, there are two competing theories online. One, environmental, the perfect combination of a major hurricane 200 miles off the southern shore of Maui, combined with northern pressure to create massive dryness and winds. Or two, diabolical, something the conspiracy theorists call a DEW, direct energy weapon. What? I had the same response, so I started Googling. The first article that pops up when you Google Maui DEW is from Newsweek. It starts like this. The devastating wildfires in Hawaii have brought a new conspiracy theory from climate change deniers who suggest that the destruction was orchestrated by the federal government's direct energy weapons. Ugh. Anytime a propaganda media article starts with conspiracy theory by climate change deniers, makes me want to believe it more. Next article, fact-checked, false. Wait, what? I thought the facts were unknown. But how can we rule out trending theories as impossible already? Joe Biden just announced that the federal government will provide aid to those that lost their homes. That means homeowners who lost their houses and properties can now loan money from the federal government at a low interest rate. Your super valuable property that is skyrocketing in value, you can now get a new mortgage, courtesy of Uncle Sam. There are also countless efforts by the people to send aid and support to devastated areas. This would be great, except local residents are now saying that they are having difficulty delivering such aid and only FEMA and Red Cross aid is being allowed in. Roadblocks everywhere. No one allowed in or out. And Maui is an island surrounded by water next to one of the largest U.S. military bases. Local residents are saying that they received no advanced warning and that they only evacuated once they saw the thick black smoke at their doors. Why was the federal response so slow on this matter, waiting until the fire had overtaken this area prior to action? I don't know what's going on in Maui. Our hearts go out to all those affected and we pray for your safety.
So basically, this gentleman raises a couple of good points. How did the news come up with these conspiracy theories before everybody had a chance to find out exactly what was happening in Maui and construct a response? I mean, it just doesn't make sense that news agencies would publish stories about fake conspiracy theories before people started talking about any kind of conspiracy theories or any theories at all. Anyway, the timing just doesn't seem to add up. Why did the news go on such a defensive measure even before the fires died out? Not only that, but if we take a look at TikTok, it seems TikTok was activated on, of course, blaming the environment. And if you look at enough of the TikTok things on the internet nowadays, they seem to be reading from the same script. I mean, it's beginning to appear that The response was scripted and sent out to different outlets even before the fire started. And, of course, we got Joe Biden, who didn't even pretended not to know anything about the fire. So let's piece together a few more little details before we start making assumptions. But I'm not going to make any assumptions. You make your own. Now, here's one of the strangest pieces of the puzzle with the Maui fire that I've seen. Is Joe Biden's response when asked about the Maui fires? Let's take a look.
Will you come talk about the Hawaii response, Mr. President?
Biden's comments outraged some.
Okay, I don't want to put too much emphasis on this, but typically when you got a tragedy like this, hey, come on, the president has a cabinet, he's got speechwriters and all this other stuff. I mean, come on, we've seen Biden try quoting the Bible before. But usually, the president, our thoughts and prayers are going out to the people, and what's his response? It's okay. It's suspicious. It's like Biden knows something, and he's been told not to say a word, anything about the Maui fires. Just keep your mouth shut. Don't say a word. Keep it simple. I mean, am I looking at this the right way? Well, I wanted to keep these videos short as possible, and we're already up to about 12 minutes and just looked into a couple of details on the surface. But I'm going to come out with a part 2, and we're going to take an in-depth look at a couple of videos that actually surfaced claiming to see lights coming out of the sky to start the fires. Are they true or are they false? I'll give you a hint. One of them I got an issue with, but we're still going to take a look at it. The other one that the United Press claims comes from Chile, well, guess what? You're not going to believe the evidence that proves, for some reason, United Press is lying to us. So we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to, subscribe. And of course, share this stuff, please.